Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to crochet this pumpkin. I've included a link in the description below for the written pattern, as well as a list of the materials that you're going to need. Let's go ahead and get started. You're going to begin by making your starting loop. Okay, so you're going to go ahead, get your loop on your hook, and we're going to begin with our chain. So we're going to chain 18. Yarn over your hook and pull it right through the loop. Yarn over, pull it through the loop. That's really all there is to making the chain. So you're going to go ahead and make a chain of 18. Also in the description below, you'll find links for specific stitches as well as how to make a starting loop, how to make a chain. So if you are an absolute beginner and need some help with that, go ahead and check out those links. All right, so now we've made our chain. We're going to work a half double crochet into the second chain from our hook. So yarn over, and then going into there's the first, going in the second chain, we're going to push our hook through the chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Let's go into the next one. Yarn over your hook, push it through the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull right through all 3 loops on your hook. And we're just going to go ahead and continue on working all the way down into each chain, all the way down the row. We're going to work 1 half double crochet. So go ahead and work your half double crochets all the way down till the end of the row, and then come back. You can pause your video while you work on that, and when you get to the end of the row, you can come right back and I will show you what we're going to do for our next step. Okay, so now that you finish those half double crochets, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. We're now going to do back loop half double crochets. So yarn over and looking at the top of your work. We're not going through the whole stitch. We're just going in the back loop. And I'm just going to give you a better look for a second at what that looks like. So I'm going to push my hook through and just show you the entire stitch. So if we were going through the whole stitch, this is how your hook would look. And you've got that little opening. There's 2 pieces to the stitch. Instead, we're going to go over top of our work and into the back loop only. Okay, I'm just going to get my hook back on my work there. And so we're going to yarn over because we're doing back loop half double crochets. So yarn over, push your hook over the top of your work into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. And just like a regular half double crochet, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So let's do another one. A back loop half double crochet stitch. I'll do another. And this is really all there is to it. So you're just going to keep on going, working 1 back loop half double crochet into every single stitch all the way down your row. And when you get to the end of the row, come back and I'll show you the next step. All right, so we're at the end of our row. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're just going to go ahead and continue on working back loop half double crochets. You're going to work 1 back loop half double crochet into every single stitch all the way down each row. And then when you get to the end of your row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And you're just going to continue on doing that. Okay, and you're just going to go ahead and chain 1 at the end of each row, turn your work, and keep going with your back loop half double crochet stitches. You're going to do that until you have a total of 20 rows of back loop half double crochet. So now that you've finished all of your rows, you're just going to chain 1, and turn your work. Fold your work in half. And you're going to slip stitch through both sides of your work. You're lining up the short ends of your work here, and we're going to slip stitch all the way down both sides of our work to close a seam. So push your hook through both sides and pull yarn over and pull right through. So push your hook, yarn over, pull right through. So you're going to work slip stitches, making sure that you work through both sides of your work so we're connecting it together. And you're just going to go ahead and do that all the way down your row. Okay, so now that you're at the end of the row, you're going to chain one and just give it a little stretch. Pull a long tail end. So just pull a bunch of that yarn through and grab your scissors, fasten it off, and continue pulling the rest of that bit through. Go ahead and get your yarn needle and get it threaded. And we're going to work around the whole opening here on this end. So you're just going to push the yarn needle, weaving it in and out of your work all the way around the top edge. So just working it as evenly as possible, just pushing it in and out, in and out. Go ahead and do that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, so now that we're here at the back at the start, we're just going to pull it closed. Be careful that you don't snap your yarn. So be gentle when you're pulling it, but you want to pull that opening completely closed. Then you can use your yarn needle to weave in and out over the top of the opening just to keep it closed. So you can just weave it in and out, and then I like to do it a couple of times, going across a couple of different directions just to really make sure that that opening stays closed. And I just push it through the loop before tightening it on the last one to make it a knot. Okay, and we're going to want to make sure, I have one little opening I spotted, so I'm doing one more knot. We want to make sure that we flip our work inside out while we do the other side and stuff it. So I'm going to push my needle through the middle and just kind of grab it on the other side. Flip my work so that it's inside out. And then I'm just going to weave my tail end a little bit right here on the inside of my work just to hide and secure it well. I'm going to get my scissors and fasten it off so it's shorter. Okay, so now I've gotten that hidden. I'm going to flip it back around so that it's the right way. I just wanted to get that little bit hidden in there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and work on the other opening here. So grab a bunch of yarn, just a nice long piece so that you can work around this opening on this end. I like to tie a little loopy knot on one end because I'm going to connect it that way. My little loopy knot is like a starting loop, as if I'm about to start my work, but I push one end of my yarn through and kind of fold it over the edge of my work here and put my yarn needle through my loop and pull all the yarn, and then just give it a tug on the short tail end and the long so that it's secured to the beginning of my work. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this opening. We're just not going to pull it closed right away. So go ahead and weave in and out all the way around this opening, and then don't pull it closed, but when you're done weaving it in and out, when you get all the way back around to the start of this round, come back and I'll show you how we're going to finish up. Okay, so now we're back at the beginning. I'm just giving a little tug so that it's not so wide open when I'm trying to stuff it. Shape it around a little bit and grab your polyfill stuffing. Just gonna push it in. I like to fluff it out a little bit, stretch it out before I push it in because you want it to not be all like weird lumpy, you want it soft. And then I sort of shape it around while kind of burrowing my fingers in the middle of the polyfill, because you're going to want to be able to push your yarn needle right through the center. And I'll show you that step in a minute, but kind of push and make a little bit of space. It doesn't have to have an opening in the middle, but just more thick around the outside. You can tuck your tail ends inside there. And then you're going to just carefully pull this opening closed. All right, so we're going to begin by doing the same thing we did on the other end, and we're just going to make sure that the opening is completely closed and stays closed by pushing our yarn needle across a couple of times from one side to the other of the opening. We just want to really make sure it is closed and secure. It can be a little bit tricky to work with once the stuffing is in there, but just feel for it and careful you don't poke yourself with your yarn needle. Okay. All right. I'm just going to do my knot. Okay, and now we're going to begin with, remember I was telling you want to have some ability to push the hook right through. So take your yarn and wrap it around one side of your pumpkin to the other end of your pumpkin and push the needle right through the entire center. So from top to bottom or bottom to top, depends how you're going to flip it. And pull that right through and give it a good tug so it gives that shape. Okay, we're going to do it again. Wrap it around the complete opposite end or side and push your yarn needle right through. Give it a tug to give it the shape. Wrap it around again. I like to just do it evenly 4 times. And then directly across again. Gives it that really nice shape so it looks more like a pumpkin than just a ball. I think so anyway. All right, so just gonna go ahead and push that yarn needle right through. Give it a tug. I'm pretty happy with the shape that it is now. You can go a few more times if you want. You can do it less. That's really just preference, but this is how I make it shaped like this. And then of course, you're gonna want to secure that tail end piece of yarn. So I'm just gonna knot it here. Okay, maybe one more time. The tighter that the work gets, it can get harder, but I really like to make sure it's very secure. Give it a tug. That's perfect to me. And I'm going to grab my scissors and fasten that off. Now, whatever you choose to use for your stem, it's completely up to you. It could be a piece of cork, it can be a stick from outside. I'm choosing to use a cinnamon stick. So you can use a hot glue gun. I'll be completely honest, I just couldn't find mine. So I had some nail glue, and I find that nail glue is really, really strong. So that's what I'm using. Squeezing in a couple of drops there and then pushing my cinnamon stick. And I'm just going to put a few more drops around the edge of the cinnamon stick once I've secured it in there, just to make sure it holds really well. Press it down for a little bit and maybe a couple more drops on the other side, and we're good. There is your finished crochet pumpkin. I hope you've enjoyed this pattern. Don't forget to have a look at the helpful links in the description below. And of course, please also don't forget to like and subscribe.